So apparently Braxophone left HSR guide making because the Fate collab was so awful and he was that disappointed. No, that's just a joke. But really, Brax just came out with a video, let's see how long ago, 20 hours ago, titled "That's All Folks." I know the gist of it because I watched one of my friends break this down, but I just got off work, I just got home, so let me actually watch the video and add my 2 cents, if it even matters.
Are about to hear something from
Sorry
me
for the audio.
that I think many of you are not going to like. And I want to preface the video with this because to me, this is one of those like, oh, brace for impact moments. Like I know that there's going to be some pretty crazy response to this, but I think this is pretty big news because in today's video, I'm going to be addressing quite a few things, including how I feel about the games that I've been playing, where we are, where we're going, and contracts and more. So let's talk about it. You know, a lot of
some juicy stuff.
Great games have released over the past year, and even beyond that, we've had so many great games released over the past few years. Things like Clair Obscur, the Oblivion
great
Remastered,
game.
Metaphor Refantasio,
great game.
Monster Hunter Wild, Dune
great
Awakening. There's
Easy.
So many other games
Facts.
that have come out in that time too, and so many like fun group games, party games with friends, other single-player games, and there's even more like amazing indie titles out there that are getting way less coverage. And I'm gonna be real with you guys, I haven't played any of them. Well, except for Monster Hunter Wilds, I did play that quite a bit. I enjoyed it, but I haven't played any of the new content on that. I got 1 hour into Oblivion, the remaster.
I can
got like 45
concur.
minutes into Dune Awakening. I haven't even opened Clair Obscur. And there's so many more games than that. And I've realized over the past little bit that I just really miss playing real games. And so I begin to ask myself, why? Why am I in this?
So I think where he's going with this, real games, he means not gacha games. Real games, something like a Clair Obscur with a clear narrative, a clear storyline, built-in mechanics, not a live service game. And I felt that once upon a time as well. I actually just recently came back to gacha games. I announced a while ago that I was done. I hung my jersey up in the rafters. I couldn't do it anymore. I was playing too many at once and I just couldn't keep up with it all. And it was just too stressful. And I wanted to cover actual games and actual gameplay playthrough videos, like my Dragoon playthrough, Lord of the Rings, just Clair Obscur, all that. And honestly, now that the gacha has picked back up and I started making videos for them again, I haven't had the chance to finish Wilds. I haven't had the chance to get through Clair Obscur and Doom, and I think there's one other game, but Skyrim, or not Skyrim, Oblivion. So the gacha and the live service with the constant updates, the constant guides, the constant attention, events, all that, it does take up a lot of your time. And as a content creator, you only have so many hours in the day. So Braxophone is an extremely successful content creator. He has hundreds upon thousands of subscribers, hundreds upon millions of views, and a lot of people who rely on his guides, me as one of them, among other places, to build your characters or to get a sense of how they will play before they release or on release. So he has to dedicate his time and effort into that, and he doesn't have the time to play other games. And I can relate to that even from my very low stress perspective, I guess I would say, even though I add a lot of stress on myself because I want to be able to get things out as quick as possible, as much as possible, with as best quality as possible. And that's just unrealistic goals and all that jazz, but that's just my personal disposition. So I think that's where he's going with this. Like 90% sure.
I'm not playing these games. Why am I in this position where I feel like I can't spend the time to sit down and enjoy these games? And the answer that I came to, and the conclusion that I came to, is because right now I'm constantly chasing the schedule of whatever gacha game I am covering. The gacha games I'm playing,
exactly,
and Honkai Star Rail, and many other gacha games will release patches every 3 to...
I've actually dropped Wuwa again because I didn't have the time to grind out all the events. After I got shafted with my pulls for Cartethia, I said, yeah, dude, fuck this. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. unless I had someone to play my account for me, like I have to go to work and be there from 7 till like 3 or 4, come home, work out, cook dinner, spend time with the fiance, and all this other stuff. It's hard to really focus on a lot of games, and I know he's gonna say he's fortunate to be able to do this, but he wants to play games again. That's I'm pretty sure this is
depending on the game, and with those patches,
not just gacha
characters, and my content's all centered around helping you guys understand those characters.
Thank you, homie. I appreciate it.
So that way you guys don't get completely taken advantage of and wiped off the face of the planet whenever you try to complete something like Memory of Chaos. And I really enjoy educating. I don't know how many of you guys know this about me, but I'm actually a music educator, or I was a music educator. YouTube kind of took off for me when I was in my student teaching. So I got my degree in music education, and I used to teach kids during a student teaching section of my college career. But then after that, I was like, oh, I really like YouTube, and I really like teaching people through YouTube. And so I've continued to make like guide videos for you guys for a really long time. And with HSR, it's been just over 2 years, but I started in Genshin, and Genshin, you guys probably noticed, but I don't cover Genshin anymore. The reason that I don't cover Genshin anymore is because
it sucks.
That's have anything new to offer me that makes me want to keep playing. They have a story that I think a lot of people are interested in, but for me, I can't really get behind gacha stories that are about selling the newest character. And it really feels like so many of these characters are introduced in gacha games,
which is a good thing, like a good moral to have. It kind of points towards that predatory gacha aspect where all they're trying to do is just sell you the new character. They don't care about the gameplay. They don't care about the narrative. They're just going to insert character X, insert character Y in the next patch, and there you go.
Just to be thrown away up until like a random event.
Buy them, spend currency.
They come back with a couple dialogue lines, but it feels like most of these characters aren't even really a part of the world that much outside of serving the purpose of getting sales by being in the story and by fleshing out the characters. So like I understand they build the world, but it also kind of plays into this whole idea that every single main character in a gacha game is just a self-insert. And when I think about games that I really loved, like The Witcher 3, for example, that's about a guy who has a ton of development throughout the entire series that makes him who he is, and it makes him such an interesting character, so much more interesting than a self-insert.
And there's no gambling or gacha, so it's that much better.
Could ever be. So honestly, just I don't really like self-inserts, and I don't really like stories that focus on side characters more than the main character. And that's not a Genshin specific problem. That's just kind of why I'm not really interested in the Genshin story that much. And that's kind of all that's left of that game, because I've already beaten Abyss. I have all the characters that I wanted, and I'm kind of explorationed out. I'm not really too interested in chasing exploration in that game. So like I'm kind of just done with it. And I fear that in Honkai Star Rail, I've kind of reached a similar point. Off stream, I don't play that much outside of the CE server. Now, when the CE server comes, it takes up all of my free time, and I spend all of my time on the CE server testing out characters to bring you guys guide videos that I believe in.
And this is what I was alluding to earlier. I figured this was coming.
Nowadays, it is very difficult for me to even write these guides. Like I'm really struggling to sit down, test a character a bunch, and then like just write up the video script and edit the video. And what I've kind of realized is that this isn't burnout. I mean, I've been burnt out before. I burn out over and over and over when I push content too hard, but this is just how it is. This is just gacha games. And unfortunately for me, what I fear has happened is the creator,
it's the never-ending gacha loop for sure.
Release not only takes away the hype of getting to do everything with the community when the character comes out, but it also means that I have to spend weeks ahead of the character's release prepping content, and it makes it so when the character comes out, I don't actually want to play the character. But not only that, making the guides themselves takes me like a week. And because there's multiple characters that release some patches, and because I'm also doing Wuthering Waves, I've realized that like I don't think I can do it anymore. I have one of the greatest jobs in the world, and I'll never take that for granted. I appreciate the hell out of you guys, and I'm so glad that I can make YouTube videos for my living. It's amazing. But I also come to realize that like any job that you really just don't like doing probably isn't worth doing unless you absolutely have to. And I know that if I...
Which is completely true. Like some people stay in their jobs because of monetary gain, and that's the only reason. It's like, okay, the money's worth it, so I'll stick around.
put my time and efforts into either a game I'm enjoying more at a time or content that I know I'm enjoying more at the time, I'm going to make better content. And I think as long as there are people like you guys who are interested
easy
in
to
my
understand.
content, I can really find a way to make YouTube a super enjoyable and fulfilling job in basically any niche. So with that said, going forward, you guys, I'm going to be taking a temporary hiatus from Honkai Star Rail guides. And the reason is,
Which you deserve, brother. You've been making insane guides for a long time. I can tell you put a lot of time and effort into the editing and a lot of time and effort into writing the scripts. Like, you insert your own jokes. It's not just a dry kind of straightforward guide where it's like, oh, hey, this character does this character does that. Your own personality comes and is shown through the video, and that takes time and effort to do, as well as energy.
To fall in love with gaming again, find my passion for gaming again, and get to play some of these amazing things that I feel like I've missed out on trying to keep up with the gacha patch cycle. I want to make better content for you guys, but I don't think I can do that anymore on Honkai Star Rail guides, at least not right now. It's possible that maybe in the future I will enjoy Honkai Star Rail guide making again to the extent that I did when the game first released, and I'll be able to put out those guides, but right now I'm just not feeling it. The videos that I enjoyed making the most over these past few months have been the game reviews. I really enjoyed making that Duet Night Abyss video. I scripted, voiced, recorded, and played all of that Duet Night Abyss footage that you see in that entire video. It was all done by me. The Warframe video as well. I did that one entirely by myself. The Etheria restart video I did pass off to an editor, and they did a great job, but I think that if I edited that one, I also would have enjoyed it a little bit better as well. What I really like doing is talking about games, and a lot of the time, that means I have to play the game, or I get to play the game is an even better way to look at it.
And that's something I can relate to as well, because I like doing playthroughs, I like doing walkthroughs, and I know that's kind of like an outdated video kind of format, but I just love playing a game, talking while I'm doing it, explaining what I'm doing, showing everyone maybe what to do or how to do something, and kind of just having everyone along for the ride with me and being able to experience it. Like, I know people that were playing my Dragoon playthrough or watching it while I played it just so they could play along. They've beaten the game a million times, but they were like, hey, it's just fun hearing your love and your joy for the game. And I'd like to watch it while I play.
For me, I'm looking forward to so many games on the horizon. There's so many games I haven't played, and I really...
And that's one thing. I don't even know any games that are releasing. I'm just kind of stuck on and I've been extremely casual with my content releases. I've strictly just been playing Dragoon, basically. I have only like 3 or 4 more videos for that. The game's almost over. And then I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to play a couple of Honkai. I have a couple of Honkai videos queued up that I want to make. And after that, I don't know. Like, I literally have no idea what games are releasing, no idea what games are in development, nothing. I've honestly been having more fun with going outside and training for my 5Ks and all that. So kind of just being out in the real world, not in this, and it's just a shift of a mindset as well as kind of a hobby. But I relate in the aspect that I want to fall in love with it again. It used to be something that I had so much fun with and something that I couldn't wait to do. But then it got to the point to where it felt like a chore, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta make a video today, like whatever. And that's the wrong way to think of it, because I should be happy to do it and I should feel privileged to do it.
Reclaim gaming for myself, because I haven't been able to do that since I've been kind of following this patch schedule. It has been quite exhausting for me. If you guys want the quality and the funny jokes and everything that are in my guide videos, I just can't do that stuff live. I can't make it easier for me to make that content. I've already optimized it all that I can.
Off the cuff is a lot harder than some of y'all may think. So yeah, that's what he means by the jokes.
Not what I want to do anymore, at least not right now. So what I'm going to be doing going forward is I'm going to be making some videos about new games that are upcoming, and then once I find a game that I really enjoy, that I really want to latch onto, that I have a super big interest in, I'll probably cover that game as well. When I was streaming talking about this yesterday at twitch.tv/Brax, I did get a question in chat, and they were asking, well, won't Hoyoverse like be upset about this? Isn't this like big for Hoyoverse? So let's talk about Hoyoverse contracts and how working with these companies has been. The first thing I need to say is that the idea that I'm on some kind of contract with Hoyoverse is a huge misconception. I've never been on a long-term contract with Honkai Star Rail once, not a single time. What I do get sometimes is commission from them to make a video. And that commission, you can think of it like a sponsorship where they're like, hey, we'll pay you to make this video. But the difference with the commission is that they're not actually over my shoulder telling me what I can and can't say outside of things that are like a beta NDA, right? So like if there's a character that's not out yet, but I have access to them, I can't talk about them, right? Until the
Which makes sense.
But in the case of where I say my opinion on a character,
because it's leaks at that point.
Blatantly wrong, they don't care. Like if I came out and I said Acheron is actually a terrible unit when she released, they'd probably be like, you should reevaluate that. I think they would have even still let me release the video, to be honest, but
that's funny.
They would have probably given me some feedback there, right? But there seems to be this huge misconception where everyone thinks I'm on some kind of HSR contract. I am not. All of my opinions on HSR have always been my own. I've always really loved HSR. I thought it was a super fun game, but times have changed, my feelings have changed, and that's all. And if you're dumb enough to think that I'm...
And that's natural when playing a game for years. I mean, you might get into a lull or there might be a lull period in the game, or it might just be stale. It might not have any evolution. Like, I used to play this game. It was... When I started this channel on, it was Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. If you know what it is, comment below. RIP the homie. They EOS'd it. But I loved that game. A lot of people loved that game. Once we got towards like the last year, they implemented a new mechanic in the game with force weapons, and it just made the gameplay so stale and repetitive that, in my opinion, I think that's what actually killed the game. I'm gonna be completely honest. They would have patches and everything. They released new characters, new beta gameplay modes for endgame, which were awesome. They were so fun, but the actual implementation of a mechanic killed the game. And they just would keep releasing new weapons for new characters, which was the force weapon, every patch. And it just got nuttier and nuttier, and everyone kind of dropped off. They were like, man, this shit is boring. It's just the same thing over and over, just these meta, crazy, easy clears. And you can just beat everything with like one or two characters, and that's it.
Lying about that. If you want to keep putting on your tinfoil hat and keep shit talking me and adding me and try to rage bait me or whatever, like, I don't care. I just assume everyone who's dumb is rage baiting anyways, because then it makes it easier to cope with the fact that people are that stupid.
Cooked them.
Paid me to say that every new character was broken or anything. It's just that they did have a blatant power creep issue with the newer units coming out, and that they
and one thing I do credit Brax with, and I do believe, even though I don't know this guy personally, I think he does have a standard of morals and values, and he's not gonna let a company pay him to shill. Like if Royal was to be like, bro, tell everyone Seadra is the best fucking unit in the game so that we have more people pull and prep for it and spend more resources before she's out and use more Jade and all this shit, I don't think he'd ever do that.
All were just better than.
But I also don't know the guy, so
there have been a lot of changes
Tinfoil
and
hat.
lack of changes to Honkai Star Rail.
I like to think the best.
I think it is ridiculous that it took them this long to make a skip button for the story, but I'm glad they added
Agreed.
it. I think that relic presets need to be a thing. There is absolutely no excuse for there not to be some. I'm pretty sure the business reason for there not being relic presets is because they want to keep up player retention, which happens when you change all of your relic sets to speed tune characters. We know what speed tuning is now. We should
fuck speed tuning.
Swap relic sets.
I'm not doing it.
They don't want us doing that, I'm pretty sure. I would love to be proven wrong, though, if they want to introduce them. The endgame content is quite stale. There's a lack of events.
It is.
I mean, there are events, but there's not as many of them as there used
Memory of Chaos, Apoc Shadow, and Pure Fiction
to be. And of course, there's the power creep problem. Like, there's a lot of issues with Honkai
They could come up with
Star Rail.
something else.
I think it's still quite.
I don't have any ideas off the cuff,
like
but
a couple hundred hours though, and that's why
they're the gajillion-dollar company, not me, right? It's not my job to come up with ideas; it's theirs.
Covering it because I really genuinely enjoyed the game. I just got tired of making guide videos. There was never really a monetary incentive from.
And sorry for constantly pausing, but I'm just speaking on the video as we go along. Excuse me. When you constantly make the same type of video, you fall into a creative pattern, and you kind of, in my opinion, lose your thinking outside of the box edge. What I mean by that is, if I was to always make guide videos and I only thought of, okay, how can I make this character the best possible with these gear sets, their what do their moves do, all that, and I only did that, I wouldn't think about making other videos on possibly like putting on super shitty gear and seeing how far I could get them through gameplay, or doing some sort of nutty boss vids, or I don't know. Pause. I don't know, you know? It's just an example. I didn't flush it out very well, but you know what I mean, right? I
get paid like actual pennies from them by comparison to what other brands are paying me.
So, I have heard that multiple times. We've all heard it on multiple creators posting. Sorry, Brax, I didn't mean to pause you at such a shitty frame. But multiple creators have said that. They're like, yo, Hoyo doesn't really pay very well, blah, 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 blah. And that's what he's getting to. He's like, I could keep making the videos, but my happiness is worth more than the little money that they're giving me. And
like a 15th of my rate that I get from other companies when I
1/15 is insane
from them. And if I was just doing videos for Honkai Star Rail and I wasn't taking any sponsors at all, I wouldn't be able to afford the mortgage that I have or the rent that I had before.
Wow.
So,
that's crazy.
I wanted to,
and that's crazy to think, because they're a gajillion dollar company and they could 100% pay people like their content creators or people who just make videos for them or of their game, not for them. You know what I mean? Compensate them accordingly. It's like, come on now. They're bringing people to your game. Pay them. Pay these fucking people, dude.
Clear that up. I don't think people are going to believe me anyways, though. So I guess it is what it is, right? The amount of money that Hoyoverse is paying me is not enough to keep me making videos. The reason I made videos is because I was going to make them anyways, and the fact they were paying me was a nice little bonus on the side. I think people need to, you know, go interact with a real human being every once in a while. Some of the stuff you see on
hence my outside, running.
It's insane, man. But I'll tell you who I do have a contract.
He's dragging people.
Kuro Games. Right now, I'm working with them to make some character guides. It's actually been a thing for a while. And you know what? I actually really do like working with Kuro. I think they've given me a lot of great opportunities. This whole thing about like contracts and being evil and lying to people, I don't know where it came from. I've never had a single person.
Everyone has made that up. It's just haters being haters.
Complain about me being on a Kuro contract, and I've talked about being on a Kuro contract, but I keep getting people complaining that I'm on the Hoyoverse contract when I'm not on a Hoyoverse contract. So I don't really know what's up with that. No. But anyways, I guess the reason I mentioned the Kuro thing is because I am going to continue to make Wuthering Waves guides basically until that contract's up, and then I'll decide what I want to do from there. It's not just a Honkai Star.
And he's doing that because he's contractually obligated. If he broke that, I'm sure it would absolutely fuck his bank account.
Real issue. I actually just think I've gotten bored of making guides in general, and I would like to make some other content. I would like to talk about some other games as well. But with that said, we'll see what happens, because I have been enjoying playing Wuthering Waves quite a bit more recently. Actually, basically just since 2.0, I've been enjoying Wuthering Waves like a heck of a lot more than I enjoyed at launch. But either way, I just don't really want that to be all of my content. I really had such an awakening with the Duet Night Abyss video, the Warframe video, the Ethereal Restart video, where I'm like, I just like talking about games. I just really want to talk about them. I want to play them, and I want to bring you guys like game news and stuff too. So that's
me. For me personally, that's one thing that I do enjoy doing as well. Game news, like when trailers come out, I love doing trailer reactions and watching them for the first time right here on the screen, on the camera, and having y'all experience it as well. It's I haven't done them recently. But that was one thing I did enjoy. Like I think the last one I did was for the new Ninja Gaiden 4 and Ninja Gaiden Black or whatever the new one was. I can't even remember. And I thought that was fun. I was like, oh my god,
the direction
it breathes life into the content creation journey and breaks the monotony of the videos that you make if you continue a cycle of a certain genre, as in gacha or guides.
And honestly, I'm a little bummed I couldn't make this video more entertaining. I've thought about like a bunch of ways, like how do I break the news to them and make it more interesting so that way it ends on a happy note. But realistically, guys, I think it is only a happy note if you guys are here for me and not just for my HSR guide videos. So for some of us.
And him bringing that up is a big thing with content creators. A lot of people, and I got this recently when I quit gacha games. Someone literally, and I'm not calling them out. I don't mean to make this in a bad light, but someone said, hey, the only reason I watched your videos was because of such and such game. Catch you on the flip side. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, cool. Like my personality wasn't good enough. Like you didn't, I mean, it is what it is. Everyone watches someone for a certain thing. And I guess I've kind of gotten into that. Like I watch Mist for his Fate Grand Order content. But I also think he's pretty funny, and I just like watching his videos in the background or even just listening and getting him a view and helping out his YouTube algorithm. So one thing to note, YouTubers are real people. They do have, we do have feelings. We do get burnt out. We do sometimes not enjoy it, even though we do recognize that it is a privilege to do this and it is a dream to do this. And Brax has mentioned that earlier. But you have to be realistic and be human in a sense.
This is going to be goodbye, and I acknowledge
some sort of empathy.
And I recognize that, and I appreciate every
if you don't,
one
whatever.
of you guys who stuck with me
Good riddance, bye.
through all of my guide videos, whether it was Genshin, whether it was HSR, whether it was Wuthering Waves. But going forward, I just really need to reclaim this for myself so that way I can be happier and make even better videos. Because at the end of the day, I want to talk about what I want to talk about, but it makes me the most happy to be able to make a really good video on it. Does that mean I'm quitting gacha forever? No. I mean, the thing is, even though gacha games can get stale after a while, I really am looking forward to Arknight's Enfield. That game plays differently from any of the other gachas we have right now. And what you guys need to understand is at the end of the...
Okay. Don't care about Arknights. Let's see. I'm glad that he's doing this for himself and he's trying to reclaim gaming and make himself happy again. I remember in one of my first semesters at college, way back in the day, I took a psych course and it was based on making changes in your life for a positive light and to just make yourself a better person. And there were some people that absolutely despise their jobs. And when they woke up in the morning, they fucking hated it. They woke up, they were in a bad mood. Everything was just awful because they despised where they worked or what they did. But they were only there because of the monetary gain. I know a couple people, I don't remember who personally, and I'm obviously not going to say, but some people changed jobs. They left and took significant hits to their paychecks and all that. But what mattered to them was that they were happy again. They had found something to not hate 24/7. And it was a give and take, obviously, but it's all about your happiness at the end of the day. You have to live with you. And I'm sorry, bro. I keep pausing you on awful frames. Why live a life where you have to not enjoy things? You know what I mean? I mean, obviously there's some give and take in that. There's always going to be some caveats, but this is a choice and he can do this while still maintaining his monetary, like, rent and mortgage and all that. He can still keep that going. So shout out Brax. I hope everything's going well, man. I hope you find your love for gaming. I hope that you're able to take a little break from the gacha space. I know you're still going to make Wuthering Waves character guides because of your contract, which makes sense to me. But I hope you can reclaim gaming. I hope you can find something to light up your ambition and just your drive to just create. There's nothing feels better than playing something and just the sheer number of ideas that flood into your head. You're like, oh my God, I can do this, I can do that. Oh my God. Like, to me, there's nothing that's better than that. I'm like, I cannot wait to get to my computer and just start implementing this or grinding and building and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, there's my 30-minute yap session. If you stayed this long, thanks. If you didn't, thanks. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.